Alright, so definitely one of the hardest videos I've ever had to do for IG. In February, we were reached out to by a girl by the name of Marguerite. Her mom, Amita, was in the hospital suffering from ovarian cancer. And while she was in the hospital, Marguerite used to go see her and they used to watch my story to cheer up her mom, specifically Daliso, because he was a puppy at the time.
Look at that funny little belly.
So after her mom came home, I got an email, and I think the subject box said, I know this is a long shot, but I'm going to ask anyway. And Marguerite asked if we would be nice enough to bring Daliso by to cheer up her mom. So we, of course, said yes. And when we got there, it was like we were family from day one. There wasn't anything awkward about it. And Daliso loved her so much. He would like go to sleep on her lap. And so the first time we went, she had her little fluids and she was walking around with that. And then we went back a second time, and the second time we went back, she didn't have a fluid. She walking around. She looked absolutely great. It was really, really good to see her like up and about and looking good. So then we lost touch for about a month, maybe a month and a half, and I reached out to Marguerite and I asked how her mom was doing, and she gave me the bad news that she wasn't doing good at all, that she was in hospice care. So we went there to visit her, and after the third visit, she passed away 3 days after. So we of course attended the wake, and on the way home from the wake, me and V started discussing the possibility of adopting out Daliso to them. And as much as it would be painful for us, we felt that it would start to heal their hearts again. So we decided to accept the pain, and we adopted Daliso out to them. So we're on our way right now to visit him. It was 3 weeks ago, and ironically, as we were making our final decision to adopt him out, Marguerite called me just as we were discussing it and said that she had went to a medium, and the medium saw a dog, and she asked if it was Prince, her dog, and the medium said no, not Prince. He's very protective over you, and you probably can't have a boyfriend, which was actually true. He also told her about all her past relatives that had passed that were with her up there, so he was dead on with everything, and he mentioned the little dog. And it ended up that he was talking about Daliso. So that pretty much solidified our decision that we were doing the right thing. And he's been there 3 weeks, and he absolutely loves them, and he loves it there, and he loves Prince. And we feel like, we made the right decision. As hard as it was, we feel like it was the right thing to do. So we're going to go see him now, and we'll post some videos.
Oh, thanks so much. What are you doing? What are you doing?
How's it going? It's all good. It's all good.
Hi, how are you? Good. Daliso.
I didn't even tell you. So he's doing the same shit to Prince that he was doing to everyone at the house.
What?
Nipping their legs and running away.
Really? Fine. Yeah.
The claw! The claw! The claw! The claw!
Remember the claw? Yeah.
in November of 2018, we got a phone on a hotline about a puppy that was going to be put down on a vet, by a vet, because he was born different. He was born with a cleft palate, and that puppy is Daliso. So I was tube feeding every 2 hours until he reached the age that he was able to eat on his own, even with his cleft. And now he's eat on his own, he drinks on his own, and he's just like a regular puppy. So that just proves you, first of all, that every dog deserves a chance and needs it. And with love, you can do everything. So back in February of this year, Craig told me that someone reached out to him. Her name was Margaret. And she wanted us to go see her mom that has ovarian cancer stage 4 with Daliso. Because Daliso was always cheering her up since he was 1 day old, actually. And just like her, he was battling something and he beat the odds, just like her mom, Hermida, did. And so first time we came here, the bond she had with Daliso was so insane. Daliso just came on her and laid on her next to her, didn't move. And at this time he was 2 months and a half old. And he was just a little bunny running around, but with her, he would just lean on her and stay there. And he was so tiny. That was just awesome to see. Even if she was sick, she was still smiling, and she had faith, and she just talked about Daliso. Like when we were there, she was just so genuine with him and so sweet, and she kept on telling him how he has soulful eyes. And we just felt like family from that time on. And of course we were gonna keep Daliso. So she asked us, are you guys keeping Daliso? Is he gonna be up for adoption? And we're like, nah, we're keeping him, because you know he was my baby and Craig's baby. And then, you know, that day was really awesome. We really felt like family once again. And we came back a second time. Armida was glowing, and the same thing again with Daliso. They just pounded. They had such a bound. Even I'm his mother, and we never had that bond that he had with her.
Crazy and gets so excited. If you want to run away from home, you can.
And that was just insane. So that second time we met her, she was just glowing. She was like, I mean, she was just different. There was something different about her. And of course, Daliso was the same. Loved her, bonded with her, just laying on her, so calm. He was taking like her energy with him. And of course, after a month and a half passed with Craig, I said, you know how Armida's doing? You know, Margaret told us that she wasn't really doing good. And so we went to see her last time, and same thing, Daliso was just laying there with her. And 2 days later, she said that she passed away. And at that moment, I always had a voice in my head that says, Daliso, they need Daliso. Daliso was put on my path so he could be with them at the end. And it was in the back of my head all the time. Like every day I was looking at Daliso and it was in my head. I had that in my head. So one day my Margaret, she called Craig and she told her about the medium she went to see, and he was talking about Daliso. So you know, I was talking about Craig, like they need Daliso. His place is with them. Like it's not even with us. Like it's meant to be. And so Margaret was telling us about the medium. He was talking about Daliso, the little dog. And so we took the decision to, adopt Daliso out. But it's kind of not even an adoption. It's just where he needed to be. So it's really, he's at his own place. So now Daliso is with Margaret, Brigitte, and Vinny, and all his family. And I really feel like it's like a bit of Armida there. Like I feel like they're all together now. And that's where they needed to be.
That little noise. So my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer, and I had followed New York Bully Crew for a couple of years, and we had started watching the Instagram stories together just to keep her busy at night. She spent a lot of time like laying on the couch and hanging out, so I kind of wanted to occupy her with some things. And we started watching the stories together on Instagram, and in November when we saw Daliso, she became obsessed with him, and every night she was looking forward to Daliso's story on Instagram and watching him grow. And then in February, she says to me, it's about that time that Daliso would be up for adoption. You think that they're gonna post something soon? And I was like, why? And she goes, I want him. And I was like, okay. And at first I'm like, I think her pain meds are too high. So I was like, you know what, let me reach out and just email and see if they're planning to maybe put him up for adoption, but later on, because he's special needs. And they obviously wrote back that they were keeping Daliso, and I kind of said I was reaching out because my mom was sick and this was the reason why. And right away they set up a visit, and I actually didn't tell my mom till that day. She was really sick, and she had a hard time with the way she was feeling and looking. And I told her, Mom, you have a special visitor today. She was like, no, I don't want anyone to come today. And I was like, no, you do. And I told her that it was Daliso, and she was like, what do you mean Daliso? And she couldn't believe it. And when Craig and V came with Daliso, she was like, it made her day. And she, as much as she looked forward to those videos every night, she would talk about Daliso coming to visit her, and she looked forward to the next time that they would come. She loved Craig and V. She wanted to cook for them. And she was upset that she couldn't. And she kept telling me, there's something about Daliso, there's something about little Daliso. She kept calling him little Daliso, there's something about him. And she just kept saying how special he was. And I would say, Mom, he's a fighter, he beat the odds just like you beat the odds. She really had a strong will. And Daliso gave her a lot of hope.
He did that every time he came.
He was so gentle with her.
He was a baby when the first time he came. And for him to just lay there like that was special.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, he's a puppy. He's like not even, but he just chilled on top of her, and he gave her like such comfort. And I took care of my mom. And now, like, taking care of Daliso is the same honor. It's not just any dog. It's not. He's a piece of her. So for me to be able to take care of him, gives me this purpose. Because I went from taking care of my mom also full time to she's not here. So I had gone to a psychic medium on a Saturday morning, and the medium is telling me, your mom's talking about the dog. I'm like, yeah, Princey, I have my dog, and you know, they got really close. Prince even took on a lot of her pain and symptoms, which was super weird. He was developing a lot of things that she was getting. And I was like, so I thought that they were talking about Prince, that she was talking about Prince, and the psychic medium says, no, she's talking about the little dog. So I kind of like paused for a second, and I was like, the little dog. Like, I didn't want to also say anything, and then the psychic medium said, no, the little dog, not your guy, not Prince. We know that's your baby, not your baby. the little guy that helped her get through the hardest of times. And then I said, well, there was a little dog that she got really close to before she got sick, before she passed away while she was sick. And it was this rescue dog that would come visit her. And he's like, okay, she just wants to acknowledge that that little dog got her through the hardest of times. And I shared that with Craig and B the next day. I sent them the recording because I wanted them to hear how special it was that it's not like I had known Craig and B before this and they knew my mom or our family. They really came here so genuine, and it was truly for a reason, I think, because had they had not come here and met us, and had my mom not met Daliso, this would not be happening. The night before we told you guys about the psychic medium, me and my sister were hanging out with Prince and we were playing her voice and we were playing videos of my mom and Prince and my mom and Daliso, and literally the next day you guys said that. And me and my sister were like, what? We can't take him away from his parents. Like,
We still have brothers.
no, like, that's his family, those are his brothers and sisters, that's his home, like we can't. But there's like a bigger picture to it.
So on the way home from the wake, we stopped around the corner to get pizza, and the guy comes up to us and he's like with a box full of pizza, and he's like, here, and he just gives it to us, and like she was saying that her mom wanted to cook for us, and I feel like that was her mom saying, I couldn't cook for you, but here's a box full of pizza. And we were like, yeah, right? We were like, yeah. So she cooked for us, in her own way. She cooked for us. I mean, we've been there 20 times and they never give us one free slice. And we just so happened to go on the night of her wake and they give us a box full of our favorite vegan pizza. We were like, yeah. Big hug up in the sky.
I actually wanted to share something with you guys. I was just reading, a lot of people in the past couple of weeks have asked me about his name. Daliso, it's a little different. So they asked me, oh, where'd you get that name? And I actually looked it up, and the meaning of the name Daliso means a blessing. Super ironic. And I started reading about a little bit more about the history of the name. And it says the first recorded use of the name by the Social Security Administration for the name Daliso in the United States was on Saturday, June 15th, 1889. And my mom passed away on June 15th, 2019, this year. And it's kind of like a sign for me. My mom has been sending me a lot of signs. When I looked this up, that stood out to me. And of course, I shared it with Craig and V. We all got the chills. We were all freaked out about just the fact that it's a blessing. The date is there, and really just proving that Daliso right here is a piece of my mom and has given me a lot of comfort and sleeps with me every single night and gives me that peace that is really hard to have through the worst time in my life. So as much as the void is never going to get filled of having my mom in my life, since she's not physically with us, I do have healing and a lot of comfort through my best friend, Daliso Gianni. So thank you guys. Love you, Craig and V, and everyone at New York.